We have a member in New Orleans. Her name is Ruth Kennedy. And Ruth Kennedy lives in the Holly Grove neighborhood of New Orleans. Her neighborhood was, of course, really adversely affected by Katrina. And we were doing some work in Holly Grove, and Ruth called us up and said, "I'd like to start walking again. My neighborhood isn't safe. There are drug dealers in the park. AARP, please help me. I really want to start walking with my friends again." So we said, great. We were doing some work there. We said, come on into the office, Ruth. They pulled in the New Orleans Police Department. Ruth and 7 of her friends came and sat down with AARP and the police stepped up their presence in that local park. The women started walking 3 days a week. Crime dropped by 80%. And it signaled that the neighborhood was back. All across New Orleans, exactly, in that neighborhood. So they directly impacted crime in that neighborhood, right? You can directly point that. But the housing values in that neighborhood went up 40%. They have a farmer's market there that brings in $1 million in revenue a week. And I think that's because Ruth Kennedy wanted to take a walk with her friends. So, exactly. We, of course, traded in the favor. We said, Ruth, who founded, after that meeting, the Soul Steppers of New Orleans. Some of you, I don't know if there are New Orleans folks here who know about the Soul Steppers. They now number 200. They went from 8 to 200. And we called Ruth and we said, hey, Ruth, this is last year. We're trying to pass complete streets policies in New Orleans. Can you get your Soul Steppers to come down to City Hall with us to help us? She said, sure. So all 200 Soul Steppers strapped on their walking shoes, and we got complete streets policies passed in New Orleans. Really great stuff. Thank you. So we want to continue this work all across the country. We have 36 state offices. AARP has offices in every state and the District of Columbia, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, so we have 53. And in 36 of them, we're doing this kind of on-the-ground work. We're in communities. We're doing as much as we can across the country, working with tremendous partners like the Walkable and Livable Communities Institute. We're doing active living workshops, and there are stories upon stories that we're adding so that all we can do is change across the country and make it so that people like Ruth can get out and take a walk. We had a city engineer, for example, in Alabama, who after attending an all-day workshop with us said, I need to make a big change to a planned road that I had going into my town. She was going to put in a 5-lane road. She changed it to a 3-lane road with a town center. So that was all because she took a walk with us that morning around her community. And we want to replicate that and keep that going and work with as many people as possible in the room, engage the thousands of volunteers that we have at AARP across the country so that everybody can be a Ruth Kennedy, and actually so that everybody doesn't have to be a Ruth Kennedy, so that we don't have to have people like Ruth call us and say, it's not safe for me to walk in my neighborhood. So we're excited to be here and enjoy this movement with you. We have resources and stories on our website, I'll point out. It's aarp.org/livable. So go there, tell your story. We'd like to shout it from the rooftops. We've got a blog that we're working on, so please share your stories, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of the great work here today at Everybody Walks.